We're back. Welcome to week 12. It's the Wires Picks of the Week. Take 2, because we did this once for about 35 fucking minutes, and then we found out the phone was off. So, round 2, we got primetime music, we got Boys in the Hood, we got Naughty by Norfolk. We're coming to you live from the Derby. The bigger, better, uncut version. This one may have fucking cuss words. How about it? Here we go. Playoff matchups this week. Roland, Legacy, Hail to the Redskins, Duck Dynasty, Al Davis Tribute Team, Bushwhackers, Johnny Waiver Wire. Those 7 teams are all in it. We're going to talk about it now. First matchup, Johnny Waiver Wire, Kavanaugh's Team of 9. We looked at this before. Johnny Waiver Wire, in my opinion, should win this game. The problem is, we've got matchups, we've got bye weeks, we've got Jared Goff not playing this week. Puts him in a close spot. Dalvin Cook is the playmaker I'm looking to have a big week from this week. What do you guys think?
So from take 1, right, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I say Carson Wentz. He's been slow the last 2-3 weeks. This week, monster game. He's gonna have 3-4 touchdowns to get the Giants. He's gonna light it up. Fournette, they're gonna have a big game. Who does the Jaguars got this week?
The Bills.
The Bills, right? So they're gonna have vanilla defense going on. So like Jaguars defense and Fournette gonna have monster games. So I see BJ, I think gonna upset this one. That'll be your lone highlight of the entire season. Have a good one, sleep it off, and we'll come back next year stronger.
I agree somewhat with Gary saying. I do think, and it's all about matchups, and we may contradict ourselves from time to time, but I think Wentz against Mullins, I think that's a big one. Johnny's got the quarterback on the bye week. I think Wentz wins that one. I think Fournette does run strong. I think he's the key to the team. Buffalo's defense is stronger than people think, but I still think he ekes out 2 touchdowns there. I think that's the difference.
So we're all on board. Johnny Waiver Wire wins this week. Goes to 7-5 behind those fucking stud wide receivers. Cortland Sutton, Michael Thomas, Josh Gordon. All going to have decent weeks except Michael Thomas because you fucking busted him this week. Johnny Waiver Wire wins despite what these two say. Next matchup, rolling with Mahomes against Free Stanley. Mahomes is arguably the best team in fantasy football. He's 11-0. This week's no different. He goes to 12-0. Stanley just doesn't have enough firepower on that squad.
Agreed. Mahomes is going to keep rolling, even when Mahomes on the bye. You got too much in that team for Stanley. Stanley's team, 5 players played already, 34 points. Not enough. He's going to struggle to score 50. So Mahomes win big, lock up that number 1 seed with a 12-0 record. Enjoy that bye week.
Too many people have already played for Stanley. Mahomes rolling.
Next matchup, Long Island Legacy, JJ Slap That Shit. JJ Slap Shit, a year removed from the Domestic Conference Championship game. He doesn't have enough firepower to keep it going every week. Although this week in particular, while Long Island Legacy's kind of been stuttering and fumbling and stumbling, JJ Slap That Shit got 34 points on Thursday night from Amari Cooper. Couple that with Christian McCaffrey, Russell Wilson, Marquise Goodwin, who's bound to have a decent week against Tampa Bay. Upset alert! JJ Slap That Shit wins against Long Island Legacy.
I like McCaffrey here. He's been playing strong of late. I think he continues to roll.
I'll take the opposite. I'll take Long Island Legacy. I think you got enough. That 34 points will be his highlight of his week. And I think it's going to be a close one. Kind of low scoring for these teams, about 90-ish. We'll get the W.
He likes Legacy to move to 9-3. I think he'll drop to 8-4. Either way, Legacy, you're in the playoffs. Congrats again. Get off my dick, Muff Diving Home Wreckers. We talked a lot about this one in take 1. Both teams being 5-6. It really doesn't matter, but with some different things happening, one of these teams is vying for that 6th spot. I like Get Off My Dick. He made a couple moves earlier in the year. He's got Diggs, who I think is going to have a big week. Drew Brees was Drew Brees. I like Get Off My Dick to take the win over Muff Diving Home Wreckers.
I think Ditka with those 27 from Breeze, that's hard to come by, and he's been averaging that weekly, so that's a lock. The Chargers defense against Arizona. Arizona's going to give them a pick 6 or fumble for a touchdown, so it's going to happen. And like you said, Stephon Diggs is going to take some from Thielen this week, and he's going to light it up.
Who doesn't like muff diving? I think right there, Lamar Jackson is going to equal Breeze, and then they're going to run from there.
Lamar Jackson, look for a big day this week against Oakland. He played good last week against Cincy. Looking for round 2. You might never see my favorite guy, Joe Flacco, ever again. Joe, you're out. Bushwhackers, Duck Dynasty. A battle for the division. Duck Dynasty sitting at 7-4. Bushwhackers sitting at 6-5. This is a must-win for the Bushwhackers to get in the playoffs. Unfortunately, I don't think he does it. I think Duck Dynasty rolls. Bushwhackers drops to 6-6. Look for Duck Dynasty behind a red-hot Aaron Jones, Saquon Barkley, Big Ben, who's come alive in the last 5 or 6 weeks, and T.Y. Hilton. There's too much Duck Dynasty duck power here. Duck Dynasty wins. Locks up, in my opinion, the 2 or 3 seed in this division.
Yeah, the quarterbacks are just a push, Ben and Phillip. The running back position is where it's not a matchup. Peyton Barber and Derrick Henry are 5 points apiece compared to Barkley and Jones, who will probably give you 15 to 20 apiece. So that alone is going to give them. T.Y. Hilton's going to have a monster game at Dome at home. So Duck Dynasty will lock it up and 30, 40-point favorite on this one.
I think the key for me is Edelman's going to come alive. Brady had a tough week last week. I think he heats up and he wins a matchup against Amendola.
Next matchup, reality check against the Hurricane. The Hurricane that in the last couple of years has been more like a tropical storm. Reality check has scored almost 1,300 points this year, just like my man Todd the Bod and Mike Mr. Malbin. 1,300 points. You got to get some luck on your side every once in a while. I think this week, reality check, not only does he win big, but I think he might get some help and get lucky. If Johnny wins that 5 seed, look for reality check to squeeze in at the 6 seed.
Red Rider, all the way.
I like the tropical depression in this one. I think Marlon Mack's going to have one of those weeks, a couple weeks back, right? We had a couple touchdowns and 100 yards. Jeffrey's going to come out of that slump against that Giants defense. And Cam Newton, I mean, they had a shitty game last week, so I think this game is going to turn it around. He'll have 2 or 3 touchdowns easily.
Bridesmaid Slayers against Hail to the Redskins. Hail to the Redskins came out the gate hot, was for 8 straight weeks the top team in fantasy football, and then one day the wheels fell off. Adrian Peterson became Adrian Peterson again. He wasn't so shifty anymore, was he?
Now, and showing the age goes downhill at some point.
Yeah, you know, AP is kind of by week 7 or 8 started to look more like what we expected out of AP. Unfortunately, there's no Chris Thompson, there's no Jamison Crowder, there's no Darius Geis. The Redskins are floundering to get to 500 this year. That being said, AP is going to be a wash, I think, for the rest of the year. Even though I think Hail to the Redskins wins this game, it's not because his team's great. It's because that Bridesmaid Slayers team just doesn't have anybody.
It's a bunch of waiver wire pickups. Not sure who a couple of these guys are. They've been on and off all week. Rodgers and Brady's a push. And then the rest, I'd say Beckham against Sanders. But low scoring game, benefit of the doubt to the Redskins.
HTTR, you get the dub. And I think that pushes you up to 9-3, which is amazing from where you were a year ago. So kudos to you. Last game of the year, or I'm sorry, of the day, for the domestic conference, Al Davis tribute team against New Era. New Era, I said it a week or 2 on the show. You made a trade about week 5 or 6 that started sending you in the right direction. And now I think you're in a position, if you can knock off reality check or some things may go your way, I think you've got a real contending team here, depending on the usage of Philip Lindsay. Kirk Cousins, Keenan Allen, Tyler Boyd. Again, the usage of Austin Hooper, but 5 to 8 points from Hooper is a good week. I think it's an easy win against Al Davis, which I think is what we're all hoping for. But I would like to see maybe you be able to take that next step in the playoffs. I think you've got a decent squad. I like New Era to win.
I think Al Davis, just like the Raiders, you shot yourself in the foot, right? Brandon Marshall, I don't know what you were thinking there, bud. And then Matt Stafford, you know, he's their check down dude, 3 points a game. Lions not going anywhere this year. So that alone, I think that did you in. Expect big games from some of his receivers, Tyler Boyd, Keenan Allen. I think he's got enough. DJ Moore would punch us out. He's got enough to definitely take this W from you, bud.
So these 2 yahoos can tell you all about fantasy football. Let me tell you something. New Era Factory. 20 miles down the road from my house where I grew up. A lot of family and friends that work there. I understand this gentleman's from Buffalo. What can go wrong? And he also has cousins. Okay, how you like that? We'll give him that. But New Era, anyone that's with New Era is with me. New Era.
You know what I just realized? That clever name that only a couple Buffalonians would figure out. New Era being in Buffalo, having the Bills defense. I never put two and two together. I thought it was a symbol of what you were hoping to be. Turns out,
See,
you're cheering for your hometown squad.
Good
Here
call.
we go. Import division. The beer is lighter. The wins come easier. These guys don't know what they're talking about. Listen to the wire.
where the honcho
I'm
lies.
telling you the truth on all these picks. First game, Lux Neckbeard. Here comes the pain. Lux Neckbeard, I think, is sitting at 5-6, trying to get that 6-6 spot. There's a lot of magic that can happen in this division if that happens. I don't think this is the week to do it. Here comes the pain. He's got Breeze and Kamara. He's a competitor every year. I like Here Comes the Pain in a big, big victory behind Emmanuel Sanders, Greg Olson. Greg Olson coming back was huge, huh?
Yeah, I think he reinvigorated them. Definitely a spark plug, and someone that he can reach out to. Definitely a good option there. And just a difference maker for them.
Joe, enjoy it. Your run with the Saints is going to come to an end on one bad week, but this week was not it. So you got already 37 from Kamara and Breeze. You're going to cruise through this one, get your number 2 seed, and get that bye week. We'll see you again week 14. Lux Neckbeard, I like what you did. Tough being underway, I get it. But continue to put a solid lineup out there, but it's not going to be enough.
And I'm not going to write you off. You got Tom Brady. If he bounces back this week with David Johnson, Deion Lewis, Calvin Ridley scoring 20, Evan Ingram, he could break out for 20. It could be interesting, but I think we all like Here Comes the Pain. Toads with Tourette's, Poncho hunting homers. The homers sitting here at, what I got them at, 5-6?
5-6.
5-6. The Honcho hunting homers 5-6. Toads are 4-7, but Toads have been a different team since they changed their name back. Aaron Rodgers, T.Y. Hilton, Demaryius Thomas, who I think is going to go for 12 or more this week. I think it's the upset of the import conference, maybe. I like the Toads to win. Cleans closet on the Honcho homers. Sits both of them at 5-7 in the year.
Yeah, I like Toads.
Totally bold for the two of these teams. We'll see you down the line.
Toilet bowl it is. Next matchup. Bringing the Woodhead, Green Machine. The matchup of the day. We have the two best teams in the import conference because they're not in the domestics where it's 11-0. Where here it's 9-2. So we got 9-2 against 9-2 in a matchup again that doesn't get any better than this. I love bringing the Woodheads team. Kenyon Drake has the potential to have 15 to 20 points every week. He's got Carson Wentz. These yahoos said Carson Wentz is having a big week this week. If that happens and Aaron Jones stays hot, Antonio Brown stays hot, Mike Evans stays hot, Josh Gordon and Zach Ertz, I'm telling you kids, there's nobody in this conference beating bringing the Woodhead.
I agree with that, and I do see that Brown stays hot, but unfortunately he's playing against Big Ben. I see Big Ben plays an equal. I think it's going to be a good matchup. Maybe an upset with Green Machine.
I'll take that upset if you want to call it that, but Crump, we'll see you in the wild card. Green Machine, I think the quarterback's going to be pushed. Wentz and Ben are both going to have 3 to 4 apiece. But Flash Gordon is going to have a monster game. Marlon Mack at home in the Dome is going to have one of those weeks where he'll give you 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. Kenyon Drake, Frank Gore's taking too much of his carries. He ain't going to do a lot. Aaron Jones might get a few, but I think Aaron Rodgers is going to air it out. So he might get lucky, get one of those passing touchdowns. But Curtis Samuel and Stephon Diggs, as number 2s, I think they're going to step up this week and take some from the number 1s and definitely get a touchdown apiece.
So you guys like Green Machine.
Absolutely.
I like bringing the Woodhead. Crumpelstiltskin, don't you let me down, baby.
Green Machine, lock up that 1 seed.
One's going to be the 1, one's going to be the 5. Either way, somebody's going to have a tough time playing those two guys. Sportsbook, Bill Belichick this matchup doesn't really matter. It's fantasy football, it's toilet bowl implications, and neither team's going to break 100. I'm going to take the rookie because I don't like Sportsbook's roster this year. Give me Bill Belichick to not be the last, not be the seller guy in the division. He got 16 from Chase Daniel. Ballsy start. I like Bill Belichick.
Come on, Sportsbook. You can't let the Rook beat you, regardless of what your team looks like.
The nut tapper.
He's had 5 players play, 46 points. The Homer Bears, you're going to learn, buddy. You don't stick to your home team, or you're not going to win in fantasy football. It is what it is. So, Sportsbook, come on. Do us proud. Take the Rook out.
Todd, what do you think, man? Expand on that. He started 5 Bears this week.
I hate Bill Belichick.
Done. Period. Sealed.
The Wrath against Big Bortles Brand. Another matchup that doesn't matter. Big Bortles Brand at the beginning of the season started out really hot. He's since cooled off. The Wrath just can't get a win. I like Big Bortles Brand to win, but not by much. I don't think either team scores more than 85 points. Big Bortles Brand 84, the Wrath 81.
Tough one here. The Wrath has 6 players to play, and Big Bortles has 4. You got a good day from Ezekiel, but I think Phillip Rivers outperforms Russell Wilson in this one. I look for Big Bortles.
Yeah. Big Bortles got, I think, with Zeke's points, and then Rivers, I think he's going to outdo Wilson, and then everything else kind of just washes out. So Big
It doesn't
Bortles
matter.
in a
The toilet
low-scoring
bowl.
game.
You're in the toilet bowl. Actually, Wrath, you might not be in the toilet bowl. You might be struggling.
He's at 2-9.
You might not make it to the toilet bowl. You might be on the chopping block. Get your shit together there, Randy. Barons Bulldogs. Boys in the Hood. A big time matchup for the division. One of these guys sits at
We're 7-4.
7-4.
6 and
One
5.
sits at 6-5. Barron's team is straight garbage. I don't know how he's gotten to this point, but he's here. Boys in the Hood defending the honcho. I got to touch it. It felt so
Hey, Todd, you can't say.
good. What do you think here this week?
Hey, of course, not gonna pick against me, Baron. You're gonna drop to 6-6 and hope for some other things to go your way to lock up the 6th seed as a wild card. I'll take that 3rd spot. Again, not gonna pick against me. I think Baker Mayfield is gonna be my sleeper for this week with Mahomes on a bye. He's gonna light up Cincinnati, and you might squeeze in at 6th spot, Baron.
Yeah, there's just nothing there. I like Dontrell Inman to just be a filler for the week. Keenan Allen's been a beast. McCaffrey's been a beast. I love Baker Mayfield. If the Redskins keep playing the way they do, I might just jump on the Browns bandwagon. Who knows? But George Kittle's been a beast. I like Boys in the Hood this week. I don't think it's close. That said, that brings us to our final 4 matchups. Or I'm sorry, our final 2 matchups for our final 4 teams, where this guy is trying to make the playoffs too. The first matchup, OP and Discount Double Check. We'll keep this brief. OP always wins these games. It's gonna happen. Discount Double Check only has 3 guys to play. He scored less than 60 points. He's got Peyton Barber, Valdez Scantling, and Denver's tight end. That said, OP wins. If OP wins, he sits at 6-6. Discount Double Check is out. Fast forward to the final game of the day. We've got Naughty by Norfolk against Show Me Your TDs. Take me through that game.
You know, we need a little bit of luck. We need a little bit of bounces go our right way. We've had one of the most points in the league, but I think at the end of the day, Deshaun and Saquon and Connor get it done.
So again, Todd, so that's one of the teams I probably don't want to see in the playoffs. Because looking at those backs, I mean, those alone get you 20, 25 apiece. But I think you got this. I think you guys will lock up the 4th seed. And then that will bring us to 6-6 teams who might squeeze in under the 6th seed, depending on points scored, I think, compared to Barron. So Show Me Your TDs. I'll take that loss. And Todd, you guys will squeeze in on that 4th seed
Here's
there.
the hoping.
I'm with these guys. I think Naughty by Norfolk wins. He goes to 6-6. I think that clinches the division. Now, how that works out for... Oh, no, that's the 6th seed.
That's
it. Because Crump or Green Machine, one of you guys is going to get the 5. So I think Naughty by Norfolk locks up with a win, locks up the 6th seed this week.
So they would take the division with the 4th
Oh,
seed.
so who gets the 6?
So here's the recap, right? I'm taking Green Machine to lock up the 1 seed, drop Crump to the 5th seed. 2nd seed is gonna be Joe with the 2nd seed. Third seed would be myself. 4th seed would be Todd over here with his team, and then the 5th seed would be Crump. Crump be taking that wild card, and then 6th seed. That's where a 6 and 6 team's gonna get in. It could be Baron, it could be Honchos if they win, or not so fast, OP, or Discount Double Check might not be in it. I mean, might still be in it, but the 6 and 6, and it's gonna come to who scores the most points, because they're all within 20 to 30 points right now of each other.
So it's gonna get tricky.
So Baron, Honcho, OP, you guys are all within about 30 points, trying to find that 6th seed if Baron loses. If not, I'll take the 6th seed. If the stars align for you, Baron, I'll take the 6th seed. All these other teams are out. You take the 3rd seed.
I think Baron, he gets the 6th seed with a loss, it drops him down. But that's where we're at. Really, it doesn't matter because rolling with Mahomes, barring an injury with Patrick Mahomes and those running backs, it's going to be pretty hard to stop you. That's it from the Derby. This was week 12. Boys in the Hood, Naughty by Norfolk, the Honcho making a special appearance. Brought to you by Sam Adams. You guys have a great weekend.
Go Aces.
Happy Thanksgiving. Go Aces with the new hat. We're out.